up, fight fans? This is Kurtaville with Counterpunch Boxing News. This is the live chat for today, tonight. I apologize about yesterday. I was supposed to went live for you guys last night, but some heavy shit went down yesterday, which I'm ready to talk about. But most importantly, some heavy things has gone down in the sport of boxing. I will let the chat load. We got number one on the chat, Counterpunch to you. Welcome. Poke Sis Live. Counterpunch to you, brother. Counterpunch to you. Hit that like button when you come in. We'll let it load. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, a lot of stuff to talk about, including in the big news, besides the craziness that's going on in over here on this side of the pond with the invasion of Washington and all that nonsense, that craziness, should I say. Boxing remains the same. It remains suspenseful. It remains ever-changing. Well, we in this crazy world today. We'll let YouTube send out these notifications. It looks like they're coming through as of now. We got 3 on the chat. Oh, we had 3 on the chat. Someone's like, fuck this. I'm not on here. I don't know what YouTube's deal is, though, honestly. I really don't. But I can tell you this. Social media is so important. The engagement, the interaction. Media is something that will always be powerful. Okay. I started watching this show called The Boys, right? Do you think Tank will fight Garcia? I think eventually he will. I think whenever Tank Davis gets the green light, and I don't think that Tank Davis will fight Garcia. Well, let's put it this way. I don't think Floyd Mayweather will fight Garcia right now. I don't think he will allow that fight right now because it hasn't built up enough. Those guys are not going to let their star or the guy they're trying to build as their star just go on a wild whim and, this quickly. They might do it in 2 more years, maybe a year and a half, but not anytime soon. If it does, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about that. But I see Floyd looking at that fight like, you know what? That fight can build. That could be a bigger fight in 2 years. In a year and a half, when Garcia has fought someone like Devin Haney, someone that he knows he didn't train, someone that he knows that he knows the potential of Devin Haney, somebody that can box, somebody that has beaten Ryan Garcia before in the amateurs. Those type of fights. If he can make that fight and he can win that fight, Garcia, then they may make one. They may make that fight with Garcia, and then Floyd will do that and still have Tank Davis fighting people that won't be as much as a risk. Okay. IB, shout out from Wembley. Do you think the best out there? Who do you think the best out there of a Tank, Devin, Loma, or Lopez? Right off the top of my head, I don't know. All 3 of these guys have a different style. I can tell you who's the shortest. I can tell you who's the tallest. But out of those fighters, it depends on where they go in their career. I don't think they're going to even fight at lightweight. They might fight at 140 or 147. See, Floyd will look at Tank and look at Tank as an example. Okay, he can hit. He's smaller. We make money off of him. So why do we need to throw him in there with Garcia? Okay, Kurt, who's your favorite out of the four lightweight kings? Doesn't have to be the best, but who's your guy? I like Teofimo Lopez. Out of the four, I like Lopez. Probably Devin Haney next, Ryan Garcia, then Tank Davis, who can punch harder than probably all of them out of Teofimo. It's probably Tank, then Teofimo. But Teofimo's a bigger dude. So Teofimo's power is still developing, and we don't really know where he's going to be. I think he will move up before all the others. He will be that pioneer to climb up that ladder in the weight classes. But I'm not sure about who's better. But who do I like out of those? I like Teofimo, Devin Haney. Devin Haney reminds me of a young Sugar Shane Mosley, but in this era. You know what I'm saying? Who knows where the world will be in 2 years? Nothing is guaranteed after this pandemic. The time is now. Food revolution. You're absolutely right. And I think these fighters, and when like where the world will be necessarily, it might not even be sports. So we have to look at the whole idea of we've been there. We've been there through a pandemic. You guys, a lot of you guys were with me. I appreciate you guys rolling with me. I was alone by myself in my house, like what 3 months straight, and there was no boxing. There was only talks about boxing and what fighters said, and I had to counter off of gossip basically. But really, not a lot has changed. I'm glad boxing is back, but we've been there. So there might come to a time where boxing might not even be here. You know what I mean? Let's be real. I mean, any sports, by that matter. The people are trying to adapt. People are trying to, do certain things, but these waves on this COVID madness, it's getting worse. Like I won't work until Thursday. Yes, they shut the production down. They did that. They shut the production down. Someone that is in close contact with some of the stars, which is pretty much everybody, caught COVID. So everybody has been quarantined. All the top guys, all the people that were exposed to that tier, they're on quarantine right now. Word of the day, virtual boxing. Hey, virtual boxing. Wow. Kurt, you really don't like PBC guys, and don't blame you. I'm surprised because I know you love Pretty Boy and Tank's his guy. Well, I mean, Tank just look, it's like this. Not that I don't like Tank. I just don't appreciate it has to have a balance. You can't talk a lot of shit and ain't fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? And then I could see right through the people they put him in there with. They're smaller fighters that come from smaller weight classes, and they're making him look like he's Colossus. You know what I mean? This little solid, compact fighter that can punch hard as fuck. But at the end of the day, he's a guy that's beating up and knocking out a lot of smaller guys. Now, let's look at, okay, everyone knows Manny Pacquiao. He was a smaller guy, 5'5", 5'6", like Tank's height, probably a little taller than Tank. Tank's 5'5". Let's imagine Manny Pacquiao we know he went up and he beat all these bigger guys. Let's imagine Manny Pacquiao being that dude that was bigger and beat up smaller guys. Nobody would really give a shit. If he made a whole history of beating guys a lot smaller than him, what reverence would that be? So like at some point, Tank Davis really has to show me something. But as long as he's getting those checks for fighting smaller dudes like he's doing, look, fight Gary Russell Jr. Fight that dude. And see, Gary Russell Jr. is a prime example. People say I don't like the PBC. I don't like some of the shit they do. I like the idea that he pays his fighters, but see, that's a part of the problem. If you're paying fighters top dollar to fight nobody just for their namesake, and all they have to do is the bare minimum. That's like a motherfucker going to work on a regular job and he's getting paid the highest tier, the tap out rate, for sitting on his ass and doing the bare minimum of work, and the boss is pleased with that. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, it's for the public's entertainment. Okay, not for some company or whatnot. No, this is a production. Okay, a promotion. A promotion promotes, and what you're supposed to promote is good fucking fights. And if you're not seeing that, this is what we have, and that's what PBC produces a lot of times. You know, it's a cycle, and I will hate the day that they put Lotta in there with guys that are a lot younger than him. You're gonna, he's a guy that's about accuracy and boxing ability, but his legs are old. You can tell he can't move around as much. He's taken a lot more punches than he has. Those type of guys. That guy, they will put him up against Errol Spence. That's the type of shit they do over there. Watch, that shit may be coming. If Errol Spence, watch when Errol Spence goes up to super welterweight. Let's hope Erdeslandi Lara is done by then, because that's going to be a fight where he can't win. That's going to be another Tank Davis Gamboa. Okay, because Gamboa had no dude. He wasn't going to beat Tank Davis. Tank Davis was 25 years old when they fought. This dude was 38. He was 13 years older than this cat. This dude ain't fought it. He hasn't had a good fight. Shit, I don't even remember, because even the fight that I think he won, they robbed him, because I think they feed these guys, these older guys, and they give them victories, and these victories are really not warranted and not deserved, but it's for a big okey doke. You know what I mean? It's for a big sacrifice at the end. So it's one of those things. But as far as like competition and like fighting these guys, they're not gonna do that shit. Why do you think Al Heyman ain't made Spence man up and fight Terrence Crawford? He didn't even have him on the list of fighters to fight when they did square face to face and talk a bunch of shit. He didn't even have him as an option. Terrence Crawford is not an option for Errol Spence. Errol Spence knows that. That's what. But look, he's okay with that, and that's the problem. See, these fighters are okay with fighting the bare minimum. They have no ambition. So yeah, do I care for that way? No, do I don't I like the talent over there. I just want them to fight each other. That's all that is. I just don't like the politics on the PBC. That's all. I understand the business and this, that, and the other, but damn, every so often you got to give somebody a treat. Not these guys that were okay and then they put up against a premier guy. They've already taken 2 or 3 losses, and now they're about to get another 4th or a 5th. Kurt, other than YouTube and your acting, do you do any other work? You're living life. No, not really. No, I don't. No, I mean, if I wasn't in production, I'd probably be somewhere else. I wanted to go to the UK in June. Everything fucked everything up. I wanted to really take the channel to the next level, to the point where I get the Dillian White fights interviews. I get the Anthony Joshua interviews. But that's coming. I was just told I have to go to the UK to interview Joshua, guys like that. Get those guys in, because I know the connects. It's just you have to know and you have to be there. But am I a guy that runs around with a camera? No, I'm not going to do that shit. If I'm going to go to a boxing match, and I covered a boxing match, one in Shreveport, it was fun. It was a fun thing, but understand it's work. There has to be a balance with me, and I love this shit. But if it's with the buyout of, hey, yeah, I got to run behind somebody with a camera, this, that, and that. Nah, no. I'd rather pay somebody to do that than for me to do it. I'm more of a guy that, I have my own image. This is the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Anything you become imprisoned to, or you become entitled to, it becomes your prison after a while. So, no, but I will get that. Do you think there will be another American heavyweight star within the next 5 years? Yeah, I think his name is Jarrell Miller. That's if he doesn't go out there and get beat because he can't fucking fight without steroids. Counterpunch. If it's that significant, like they say, like he's talking about, like, oh, I didn't get a needle stuck in my booty or whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't do that. So if that's the case, all right, you should be able to fight without those things. That means you should still be able to, perform like you're supposed to. You don't need to pop whatever the fuck it was. I don't even remember anymore. You know what I mean? Kurt, if you ever, which I doubt, bump into Al Heyman, what would you say to him? Um, what would I say to Al Heyman? It depends on how much time I got. I'm like I'm like Clayton Bigsby. Is it Clayton Bigsby? How much time you got, buddy? All your fighters, they stink. Oh, Boxing Lodges United, peace and pugilism. What's up, Punch to you? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, man, it's a little late night chat, man. They shut us down today, bro. They shut us down. The shit shut down. So, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, a lot more content. You know what I mean? So after this live stream, I'm going to do about 4 or 5 more of them just to catch up because it's kind of hard to, do shit work too at the same time. Despite the time that I do have at work, it's not quality time to do quality shit. David Moore, you really think Golden Boy and DAZN is going to let Garcia go to the PBC? Doubt it. And Mayweather isn't going to let Tank fight on DAZN. This fight is not happening. David Moore, I think it's a little different than that. I think if enough money is there, it'll happen. The money ain't going to be there, so it's not going to happen. Like I just said, those guys, Mayweather ain't looking at that fight as a potential. Look, he knows that people would like to see it, but guess what? Promoters are like this. How much you want to pay? That's how promoters think. How much are they going to pay for this shit? You got to think about Garcia. It's going to be on pay-per-view. Okay, let's just be real. It's going to be on pay-per-view. It ain't going to be on DAZN, because, see, DAZN is not going to want to put that much money up for a new and upcoming guy like Ryan Garcia. Let's be real. He ain't created that depth and that fan. Like, he has a fan base, social media-wise, but you need more than that. And you definitely need more than that going against someone that with a totally different platform. Mayweather fights his fighter Tank on pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, that is supposed to be a pay-per-view fight. They're not going to have it on pay-per-view when they have a damn streaming service over here. That's not going to work. That shit's going to have to either the zone's going to have to offer Mayweather enough money to let his fighter go, which, no, that ain't going to happen. No, hell no. Oh, fuck no. That ain't going to happen. That shit that's pay-per-view. They got to pay. So he's going to have in his mind, they're going to pay. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult to make that fight. It has to be enough money. In other words, it has to be enough money that both sides are willing to take and put up to come to a certain conclusion on that. The only good thing about ESPN and Fox, PBC, and Showtime, those guys they had a pay-per-view platform. DAZN don't. Right? DAZN is this flat rate thing. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult. Going to be Haney versus Garcia at the end of the year. They both are going to have a fight in between. There you go. That sounds about right. Merle Dixon. Just saw my alert. What the fuck? Hit the like button, people. Real people. Much love to all. Much love to Spencer Farron, the true OG. Nice. Kurt, let's Kurtala with the factola. Mark David Muego. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Dimboy just joined. Welcome, Dimboy. Welcome to the community. Food Revolution. I am a Virgo born right on the cusp of a Libra, September 22nd. So get the need for balance. Yeah, that's big. I get it. Yeah, my daughter was born on the 23rd of September. So, yeah. She just made the cut, so I get that. It's kind of, you're like a brackish type of sign there, so you might need to do things. It's all about balance with me. You can't have too much of one thing; it'll suck. It's just too much for one thing. How would you rank the YouTube boxing channel? Seconds Out, Fight Hype, IFL, ESPN. Well, ES News. Let's do it by. If this was just Britain, it'd be IFL TV, then everything else. You know what I'm saying? But then they're all over the place. So, IFL, Fight Hype, Seconds Out, ES News, in that order. Just like that. And that's like from the biggest because all of them have access to certain things. But like, let's say ES News, that's what Ellie Setback. Ellie Setback is the OG. He's been doing shit for a long time. And Ellie Setback, he throws out content like dropping, like picking his nose. I mean, but it's like certain things you're looking like, damn, that's only like 30 views or whatever. What the fuck? But at the end of the day, he'll put some out, 100,000, couple 100,000, you know. But you don't see him sitting down with like Joshua or something like that. Everybody has their niche, especially like a single, he's a single commodity, Ellie Setback. D-Town Blaster, what's up, brother? We want what we talking about tonight. How is everybody doing? I hope everyone New Year is starting well and prosperous. Man, we're talking about Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, the world as we see it, the world as we know it right now, and everything in between, you know? Yeah, let's hit that like button. As we come in, let's smash that like button. Let's headbutt it. Let's counterpunch that like button. Let's get it up there. Let's get those thumbs up. Everybody hit that like button. Which of the boxing YouTube channels do you prefer? Their style, directness. I mean, I like more informative, I like podcasts too, because at podcasts, at least it's a back and forth. You know what I mean? It's a dialogue, not necessarily a monologue coming from one guy. But then some people you're interviewing, you really can't say 2 or 3 words anyway because they're constantly talking. So, if you're a guy that don't like to talk, because a lot of times when someone's just going away with it, like Teofimo Lopez Sr., shouts out to him. You ain't gonna get a fucking word in. You better write that shit down because by the time he gets through, you've been from one point, you got a counter, but then you don't have the opportunity. Then another point in the interview, you think of something else to counter, but he keeps talking. But then you got another chance to counter, but then then you are like, if you don't write them down, you've been forgot the first one. You're like, damn, I was going to ask you. So you have to be careful with structure, especially when someone that's long in the lungs there. What if you bump into Bob Arum? Bob Arum. Don't know really. Hey Bob, how you doing? When are we going to get these fights with these other promotional companies together? I'll talk to him to see what he says. Because, at this point, Bob Arum don't give a shit. Bob Arum might say, these rat bastards, they don't want to fight. Oscar De La Hoya, the fucking trainee, he's a fucking trainee. What the fuck? The son of a bitch, he doesn't want to fight his fighters. I don't fuck with guys that I used to fuck with in the past. I cut them off. That fight will happen, no doubt, in my opinion. Slip, duck, and roll, counterpunch. I know that. Hey, Kurt, listen to your channel. I don't believe you bias at all, but question why your phone always ringing every time you're doing a video. My phone was ringing? Didn't know my phone was ringing. I didn't know it was ringing this time. Just the luck of the draw, Young Haiti. Sorry. So, fight not happening because of Mayweather. Well, I mean, the fight not happening because of the structure, the politics. When I mean the structure, it has to be. Look, think about it. Ryan Garcia beat Luke Campbell. You think that impresses fucking Floyd? No. See, it has to be worth a risk. And then what we've learned, you don't have to fight a guy to talk about fighting a guy to raise your profile. Look at Wilder. Wilder made millions for talking up AJ's name. He ain't fought him. He didn't have any intention of fighting him now that I think about it. You know what I mean? You just can't, it's just a fighter he didn't want to fight. That's like some Lennox Lewis Riddick Bowe shit. He didn't want that. But see, let's say if Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis were fighting now, and then Riddick Bowe, all he did was talk about how he wanted to fight Lennox Lewis and all that shit, but he never fought Lennox Lewis. And Riddick Bowe was the lesser known out of the two, which he weren't. But let's say he was. If he was the lesser known and all he did was talk about and get on interview after interview after interview, and he's on guys like Blue Blood Sports TV, and he'll come over my channel and he's like, I want to fuck him up, the Bray Wham motherfucker. I punch him in the face like I've done a bunch of times in the press conference, stuff like that. And then look, it will sell, because it will get a lot of buzz, and a lot of people will want to come to his fight, even though he ain't fighting Lennox Lewis, because they're hoping he'll fight Lennox Lewis next, right? And then people will buy his shit because of that. He'll get more sales, more money, more pay-per-view revenue, and then more raises from his promoters, because the promoters also know the buzz around that guy and the followers and the potential of bigger fights. So they're gonna give him more money hopefully on the guarantee of putting them in the ring with those guys. But you can do all that without fighting those guys. Ask Deontay. Deontay didn't have to fight Anthony Joshua. All he had to do was keep his name in his mouth. He was scared. He's a coward. Even when he lost, he ain't have no heart of a champion. His resume was made up of lies, right? And all that really came about, right? Because people were expecting to see what Deontay Wilder could do. You know why the Fury and Wilder fight was so suspenseful? Is because Fury was beating this man, and this man, it had too many rounds got in the bank, and everybody kept saying, remember what Adrian Broner was saying? Hey, don't fuck the money up. Don't fuck it up. Why? Because he knew, man, fucking Fury was popping his ass with that jab, and every so often he would come in with that little stutter step, that little irky jerky shit, and pop him with the right hand and then get out of the way. And then when Deontay Wilder tried to throw that right, he couldn't land it. He was missing it all night except for 2 rounds. So, but the stock rose. The stock rose. It kept rising. He kept talking shit about who he wanted, or he's scared, or he's begging. He's this, he's that. He was talking about Joshua because Joshua was making that money. So that's what, look, Floyd knows that shit. Floyd knows if Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, I'm saying all that to say this, when these guys, the more they talk about each other, the more they're talking up their banking account. Okay, the more they're taking up their banking account. Charles Edward Cheese, we got the super chat in the house. Appreciate the love, brother. Appreciate your counterpunch to you. T Straight, counterpunch at you, counterpunch KDV. Oh, by the way, guys, mental note. The guys that follow me on Instagram, my shit, it hasn't been hacked. Somebody has cloned me. This shit is like DeVille Kurt official. That shit's bogus. And what the motherfucker's doing is inboxing people for money in my name. A good friend of mine from New Orleans today was like, hey, are you chatting with me on Instagram? I'm like, no, because I was headed to work, right? And I think I was doing a video too. I don't know. And she's like, well, you're somebody that is cloning you. He's cloning you. He has your picture, has all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So definitely look out for that. So first of all, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I don't ask for super chats. People give that like Charles Edward Cheese out of the goodness of their heart. Much love to him. Much appreciative blessings may come on him. But am I gonna, hey, super chat? No, I don't do that. So I won't come on someone inbox and inbox them about some money. I don't need that. Okay? It's a good thing to have. You know what I mean? But no, it doesn't run me like that, because you have to look, your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. How you feel is the blessing throughout the day. If you feel shitty and you got a bunch of money, what good is that? That's real talk. PBC are allergic to making offers to people outside the stable. I can't recall the last time they did that. And then when they are made, offers are mostly called a lowball. Daniel Cartridge. Yes, that's true, but also understand something, Daniel. What fucking happened the last time they done that? A draw and a loss with their top earner. See, here's the problem. Wilder just started making fucking money last couple years. He just started making money in 18, 19, 20. And he only fought once in 20. Okay, so they didn't intend for Deontay Wilder to make that type of jump or to take a loss like that. So again, why would those guys over there risk their top earner to somebody else? Why do you think you don't have an Errol Spence and a Terrence Crawford? Because they're not dumb. They're not stupid. They know better than that shit. They know that once this time comes, once this goes down, there's a possibility of this fighter that has an unblemished record, that's made me countless of dollars through his skill, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, could lose. Right? If you keep that guy over here, he gets a cap, but he's paying him well, so he's getting compensated, so he's not looking back, scratching his head like, hey, where's my money at? This ain't like the Great White Hype. Remember that? When Damon Wayans was James Reaper Roper, and he was asking Samuel Jackson, the Don King-like promoter in that movie, where the fuck is my money? And he gave him another Rolls Royce because he didn't have any money to give him. No, that's not Al Heyman. Al Heyman is not a Don King. Al Heyman is a guy, he pays his fighters well. He pays them up the ass. So they're not worried about it. If you're paying someone like, okay, the unification fight between Errol Spence and Sean Porter, it was $2 million a piece. So you think Sean Porter's mad? No, he was the mandatory. No, he was the champion. All right? So Errol Spence was also the champion. He gave him $2 million. Nice and neat. Then pay-per-view more so. Right? So that's what you had. You think they were going to get that? Now, here's the thing. If they're going to go somewhere like Errol Spence, he'll go fight Canelo for $20 million because he ain't making $20 million. Right? But if Al had his way, Al could say, you know what? I can get you. You can fight. You can fight Keith Thurman. You can fight your Dennis Ugas. You can fight Sean Porter again. That's always an action fight. You can fight Omar Figueroa. You can fight. They will make fights for this man. You can fight Amir Khan if Amir Khan's still around. If he wants a piece of that, you know Amir Khan, that ambitious bastard, he wants to fight anybody that has a belt that is considered some of the best or one of the best. Knowing Khan would take a shit fight like that. I'll fight. I got to do it. I'll fight him. I'll fight Errol Spence. He has a British, but like it's something else with it. You know, probably a bad impersonation, but you know. The fake account is run by Marcelo's Wilder. Damn. That would be sad if it was. But you know what? I think because the friend of mine, they found some more information out about it because he was like, oh, because he insulted the friend of mine. He said, oh, well, yeah, you're old enough to be my mom. Like, mom. Like, whoa, why would you, you know what I'm saying? Like, mom, we don't say that over here. We say ma, mama, mom, mama, right? We say those. We don't say mom. That shit's from the UK. So whoever it was somebody from the UK. Mike Hall, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. D-Town, yeah, I agree. And when someone spits facts, all he does is go around and point. It's sad, actually. Comatose, yo, you doing, Kurt? Yeah, I'm doing, man. I'm doing. Just wondering, because it's jacked up, though. Because if any of the actors, if they test positive, they'll just shut us down. Mario Aki will just mute Kurt when he's making valid points. Yeah, I mean, that's Aki. You know, Young Hollywood, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Young Hollywood is in the building. Probably one of them LDBC mongrels. I would love to see you debate with Aki. Well, I mean, Aki don't want to debate with me. Aki would rather try other means. He would try other means to try to shut me down because he can't. A guy like that can't hang. You know what I'm saying? Like, facts matter, not tabloids, not rumors. You know, not shit that you heard from someone else that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Those are the type of things that don't go down over here. If something's a theory, I will tell you it's a theory. It ain't true. It ain't based off fact. It's entertaining. That's some of the reasons I do it some of the times, every so often. But I don't just go around doing theory videos because sometimes people are not smart enough to take what you're saying or read. They might just say, hey, man, well, Kurt said this. Kurt DeVille in Counterpunch Boxing News said that he thinks this. No, that's not even what it is. So, yeah, I don't think that would be the thing to do. I would sit down with him though. But see, understand something. If me and Aki sat down, we'd have to talk about other shit. I mean, it ties all together, but we would have to talk about other shit because I have to question someone's. I know where a person is coming from, but we would have to talk about something totally different before we got into boxing. You know what I'm saying? Why do people call you Kirk? Yeah, man, that's a crazy. Hey, my name is Kirk. Kirk? No. Do you think you will ever do a podcast with some of your members to talk about some boxing topics, debates, and upload it? Mark David Muego. Yes. Yes. I'm raising the bar a bit. You know what I mean? I'm starting with new borders and things of that nature. I'm not getting a green screen and nothing like that, but I'm definitely going to up the ante, for you guys, you know what I mean, for the production quality. And one of those are going to be access. See, like these live streams, you know, I could put a stream yard in here, so some guys can come on, you guys can come on, and then we could split it, and then we could all be, talking, and then that's when the really true interactive things take place. I already do it over at Boxing Logic United. I'll go over there and we'll talk shit for hours, just based on whatever, after a fight or whatever, a random time, or ring IQ, I'll go over there and stuff like that. I'm gonna bring that over here. Why not me bring that over here? So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for everyone. PBC are allergic to making offers to people outside their stable. I can't recall the last time they did. And then when they are made offers, it's always called a lowball. Well, again, that goes back to advisor that already gives enough money to the fighters. So the fighters are already spoiled, Daniel. You see what I'm saying? They're already spoiled. So when someone else gives them an offer, like for example, what was it, about 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, they offered Danny Garcia the Manny Pacquiao fight. Or was it no, it was both. They offered him the Terrence Crawford fight and they offered this motherfucker $3 million. And then I think his dad or something shut that shit down. And they wouldn't take it for $3 million. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not worth him getting his ass whooped by somebody that has nothing to do with the PBC Fox and Showtime universe. You know what I'm saying? That's all what it's about. It's you have to convince a fighter that they're a part of something too. Think about what I'm talking about. Sean Porter. I like Sean Showtime Porter. He's probably one of the best examples of the best. It's weird. It's examples, but it sounds better in Spanish. Orgullo, right? He's the best orgullo over there. He's like that guy. He's that example guy, that front guy, that they have. He's clean cut, wears suits. He's the host of that show inside the PBC. You know what I mean? But when you're talking about, when I heard him say to Deontay Wilder, it was in 19 when Deontay turned down that DAZN deal. He was like, "Oh, Deontay, you're leaving us, man. Don't go. Don't leave us, Deontay." Think about what he was saying. How the fuck? Why would you even worry about that type of stuff? That means that means already that those guys are already a part of some type of mental camaraderie when it comes to promotions and stuff like that. Like they all worked at this big ass place and they all go to eat every day. You know, like they worked at this big business building downtown, and then Deontay was three. You know, he's on the 32nd floor, and then Sean Porter's on the 33rd floor. And they're all saying, "Oh man, Deontay might leave." No, it's not about that at all. You guys are prize fighters. You don't have that type of setting, but like mentally, that's what Al Heyman, you know, he puts in these minds. He feeds them that game. Y'all are part of a team. Y'all more than what y'all think y'all are. Y'all are part of a team. Everybody over here stands for something. Y'all came here because shit was fucked up. Shit was fucked up where you came from. I put this shit together. I was the one that helped y'all. Y'all have to form an alliance. And I pay y'all damn good. Fuck Oscar. Fuck him and his fishnets. Fuck fishnet Oscar. That's why I took half the motherfuckers from his stable. Because he wasn't able. You know? And like he has those guys, they have that mental mindset. Look at Errol Spence. Another example. I ain't fighting at ESPN at all. Dude, it's fucking money. Y'all ain't working at a big high-rise building called Chase. And you afraid somebody's going to go to Capital One. Right? They thought Deontay Wilder was going to Capital One. No, if he fought on DAZN, you can still go to a DAZN a venue, pay a fucking ticket, go to see the fight, go see your fighter. You support the fighter, not to fuck the promotional company or anything. They got the promotional company as like some type of fucking record label. Almost like Death Row. Remember Death Row? They had Tupac and Snoop. And then they had all these guys. Warren G. They had all the rest of the Dog Pound. They had all these guys, right? They had them all under the banner. Dr. Dre. They had these guys. He had them all, right? And he had them thinking, hey, you're into something special. You're in a consortium. So he has these guys thinking, T Straight, definitely. I hope he gets well, but I think he's doing really good. But Al Heyman, he has those guys brainwashed over there. He pays them good, and he runs good, slick-ass game on them. You know, he doesn't have, like, and I think, like, Don King did, like, treacherous shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, send people to your house, threaten you, and stuff like that. Who else? Suge Knight did treacherous, you know, unthinkable bullshit. You know what I mean? But then Al Heyman, he does it in a different way. Not saying he couldn't do that. He just doesn't have to. Right? If you can have a person's mind, you don't have to beat them up and make them do something. You could just talk them into doing something. He's making stars, but see, they're stars in their own universe. And he's trying to make them, Mike. He's trying to make those guys to the point where they don't feel they have to compete with other credible opponents anywhere else. So as long as you think that you convince a person on an island that this is it, this is all, there's nothing else out there, this is the best on this island that you'll ever see, that you'll ever meet, so don't bother by seeing any other things or looking any other places. That's what Al has. So when someone comes to them guys with it, they already have that drilled in their heads. They don't give a shit if it's $1 million more, because they're like, well, fuck, I'm making 2 anyway. Why am I going to fight Terrence Crawford for 3? But Bob Arum threw a shady-ass deal at Sean Porter. You don't give a guy $1 million, fucking try to offer him $1 million when he just received 2 for fighting one hard-ass fight with a rival. You don't do that shit. So, yeah, that's Bob's fault. Bob shouldn't have done that, ever. That was fucked up what Bob did. Or what Bob attempted to do. And then you know Sean Porter is not a dumb person, but at least he was straight up with him to a certain degree. And what I've seen to a certain degree, he did tell Bob, like, look, no disrespect. He didn't come at him like the Charlos would or like Adrian Broner would. Adrian Broner will tell you to fuck yourself. You offer him $1 million. He's already wanted 10 from Al Heyman, right? And he's probably talked. Yeah, he probably might get $10 million from Al Heyman. Yeah, to fight 5 fights, or 7 fights or some shit. I'm gonna give you that $10 million, AB, because I believe in you. See, you got Floyd in you. I know you do. I know you wanted to be Floyd, but you got Floyd in you. No homo. What I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna give you that $10 million, but you gotta deliver for me. Get on out of here. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's gonna give his fighters what they want, or he's gonna come close. So back to Sean Porter. Sean Porter could have at least, hey, this is what I will fight Terrence Bud Crawford for. Can you make that shit happen? Yeah, I can see him, man. Because I think Al Heyman don't like to do interviews because Al Heyman's just too real for that shit. Fuck them cameras. I don't fuck with cameras. I fuck with people one-on-one. People do my interviews on my behalf. I tell them what to say to other motherfuckers. I don't do that shit. Kind of put you in that Marcellus Wallace type of situation. I damn near said Wilder. Right? Jeff Luciera, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Do you think we'll actually see Fury versus Wilder 3? Mario Salazar. Man, I don't know. I really don't know, bro. I mean, all I can do is report the shit that I hear that's supposedly credible. But the way that shit's going, it's like the mediations are still here. Hopefully we'll see something by the end of this month. Now I do have a video to shoot out to you guys about Tyson Fury, but I already done a Tyson Fury video. So I'll drop it in the morning, early in the morning for you guys. So, y'all must have forgot why so much LDBC mentions in this live feed. I don't know. Cause I really don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't hate anybody over there. Like some of them I despise, but then some of them are all right, I guess. But then, I think a lot of people used to go over there and get content. And then when they had a question, those guys over there either shoot them away, blocked them, you know what I mean, or did something real emotional, by doing something like that. And then people would come over here and then they're like, okay, well, this guy, thinks for himself, you know. If you're not a flock, a sheep, and you're not going in a certain direction, they don't want you over there. That's how I look at it. They want you to agree. They want you to follow. They don't want you to ever think about being a leader. They don't think you to think of you being a free thinker. No, they don't want that over there. They want you to listen to them. That's why you're there. If you don't want to listen to them, get the fuck out of there. That's the LDBC. That's why they'll mute you, block you, fucking report you. They'll do that shit. I mean, that's, it's definitely some narcissistic shit going on a lot of those channels. So I don't know. ADZ fam, what's good, brother? Counterpunch to you. Counterpunch to you, brother. Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. I have a green screen you can use. Nice. Karma, you're right here in town. We need to link up, definitely. Because looks like I'm not going to be fucking working. I'll go to Dallas tomorrow. But then I'll be back like Monday. So, I'm going to go up, hang out. Try to stay safe because we have to test Monday and Tuesday. We tested today, then Monday, then Tuesday. So, it's crazy. But yeah, just inbox me on the gram. My Instagram, not somebody with 3 fucking followers. Because somebody's following him because I guess they think he's me. Paul Meadows, respect Kurt from the night shift. UK, how much longer is the Wilder mediation going on for the UK pissed off with Wilder as I am? Well, I listen to a lot of shit, and I think of questions and stuff. I don't know to answer your question in short. I don't know how long the mediation is going to be, but you can ask questions for yourself, like Wilder, stop talking, And I seen a video today, and you guys know who IOTBA. Sami Ali, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. God of War, greetings from Germany. Autobahn in this bitch. Funny Fury want to quit. The Porter offer was low, but yet again, no counter offer to try, and that's it. Daniel, exactly. No counter offer. But I'll get back to you, Daniel, before I lose thought. I seen a panel full of cats. A lot of them I didn't know. I knew two. I knew Blue Blood Sports TV and then IOTBA. You guys don't know IOTBA. He had a huge channel, or not channel, but page on Facebook where he had like 10,000. I mean, back then that was a lot. It's not a lot now, but I'm glad to say. But for Facebook, it was a popular venue, and everybody used to hang out there. Me, Ring IQ, guys like that, James Calderon, those kind of guys. And that's kind of where I met those guys from. That's kind of like the start. Because I have a page on Facebook where I used to do videos. I have like 300 videos on that. If you guys want to just look at some old school shit about old content, about old fighters and situations and such, right? And old counterpunching, right? But these guys like were arguing. And IOTBA, that means I'm on that bullshit again. If you guys want to know what that means, that stands for. But he asked Blue Blood a question, like, he was like, well, why did it take Wilder so long? So how do we know Wilder was going along with everything? And Blue Blood was like, well, because he was agreeing to everything, behind the scenes. And what IOTBA was saying was like, well, that's not like him to do that shit. He was always all over the place. So you expect people to believe. Now, mind you, that conversation was not a conversation, it was an argument. But this is what I gathered from it, okay? And he was like, well, you expect everybody to believe Wilder and the shit he's saying when he wasn't really even saying anything until he found out that Tyson Fury was getting out of the fight. And then Blue Blood was like, well, he agreed to everything. He shouldn't have to. And then the argument was, well, Blue Blood was saying he didn't have to. He didn't have to argue or say anything. He had already agreed. He'd already exercised the rematch clause or reactivated the rematch clause. So he shouldn't have to say anything at all. But what IOTBA was saying, he was countering with like, well, yo, he always fucking talks. And I'm going to stop right there. The mediation, I don't know how long, but before we got to the mediation process, it was said that Tyson Fury was the reason why, according to Blue Blood, was the reason why the fight didn't happen or the dates were changed. But see, if you guys do your homework, because he mentioned the October date, then the December date, then that was changed. And then people were trying to move it to like January, I think it was, or February. And then Frank Warren was saying, hey, well, we're not fighting that long because my fighter needs to fight. My fighter does need to fight. So we're not going to wait till next year. We want to fight now. So then they decided at that point, to, because the contract had expired, right? That was the big news. And then he was going to fight Caballero last year on the 5th, right? Well, that was the whole thing. And what Blue Blood was saying was true. He was like, well, Tyson said, well, he didn't care where he fought, if it was behind the scenes in a bubble or in front of the crowd. I just want to fight. But that was the reason why he just like, look, I'm done. The contract's expired, so I don't need this. Let me fight somebody, so I'll be done with it. Well, that's when Wilder came out. But also, the fight didn't take place. So then you're like, okay, well, you can't call Blue Blood a liar at that point, but you can ask, like, why the fuck was Wilder so quiet? So I know actions speak louder than words. Yeah, and his actions were not speaking. And the question is, if you always speak, that means something changed. What changed? You got your ass beat. That ass whooping silenced him. That's what that means. That's exactly what that means. You're doing everything quiet and shit, and you're a big loudmouth, a boisterous bomb squad, right? That type of, you know what I mean? You're in the cameras and the way the shit he used to talk. I want people to shut me up. I want to be silenced. Well, you were fucking silent for like 8 months, bro. And then I know that shit about changing dates. No, they supposed to fought in July, but he's supposed to have been having a surgery. So a lot of shit was unclear, and there was a lot of contradicting bullshit too about the actual surgery itself, about how hurt he was, when he got hurt. Look, all this shit is credible. Those guys, look, Blue Blood, he shouldn't want to fuck with me with that because I can go back on dates with him. And we could go toe to toe, and he's not gonna want to answer questions. And he didn't want to answer the question about Mark Breland either. And that's another thing. And IOTBA was like, hey, what about Mark Breland? And then he forced Blue Blood to say, hey, I did a video on. I guess I'll just post it now, but this is a sneak, peek for you guys. But he made Blue Blood Sports TV say, I don't think he did that. Now, how many fucking videos you think Blue Blood Sports TV said are made on the behalf of Mark Breland and his character? Not a fucking one, I don't believe. Because I would have saw it more than likely. I seen all those Mark Breland. He said what Deontay Wilder accused him of, but he didn't take a stance like he normally does because it was against Wilder. So, again, that's what you have, and that's what you had today. I thought it was it, and it was like I think it was I want to say 2 months ago now. So it was just on one of the feeds. I was just driving home, and I read it, but yeah, it's a lot of shit. I don't know how and what will happen or when. And they supposed to say it's supposed to be the end of this month. But what would be stupid is you're in mediation for a long period of time and you're holding up a fighter from fighting. And I think what's going to happen, you're going to force somebody like Tyson Fury to get out of shit. Tyson Fury's good at getting out of fights. He got out of the fight in 2019, didn't he? He signed the contract. He didn't want to fight Wilder because something else was better. You think Joshua ain't better than Wilder? He's going to fuck around and do the same thing. Mark my words, people. Then that shit Shelly Finkel's talking about, we're going to take you to court. We're going to sue. You can fucking sue and do whatever you want to do, but that ain't going to stop Tyson Fury if you keep fucking with him. Because Tyson Fury's one of those guys, he's here, there, and he's everywhere. And I think if you catch Tyson Fury wrong and that mindset to be like, you know what, fuck it, taking me to court, but I'm gonna fight Anthony Joshua. Think about it. I mean, how much could they sue him for? Think about what I'm saying. How much could Wilder sue Tyson Fury for, really? You can't sue a person for $100 million fucking dollars if you ain't made $100 million in the last fight. If you ain't made 50 between the two in the last fight, how the fuck are you gonna sue him for that? But if he's making 100 million, you think he's gonna really care about being sued? And all he can do is fight the shit. Well, hey, the contract expired, so they say. So they say. And that's a whole different thing. But at the end of the day, if they drag out that mediation, because the whole thing would be, I think what Team Wilder's trying to do, they're trying to push that shit farther enough to make Fury say, you know what, fuck it, let me just fight him then. Because I'm wasting too much time of my life and career. And then I got that big ass Joshua fight. But then you want Joshua to fucking drop a belt. It's crazy. When you don't know what the fuck's going to happen with your fate and your shit. I don't think you realize that you're pretty much the only realest boxing channel in the USA. I mean, there's boxing channels out there. It's just some that don't go in depth like I do. They try to kind of keep it general. Bruce fucking Vane will just incinerate you. He will roast you to no fucking end, and he will do it day after day after day after day. You know what I mean? He gets the fucking USA American 2020. No, fuck that. 2018 through 2020 Boxing Roast Award goes to Bruce fucking Vane because he's that guy. He will roast you. Look how he did Canelo. Look how he did Wilder. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no, I don't roast them to that point. If I'm gonna roast you, I'm just talking about facts, the things that I can prove and the things that I know. Things that I think and look at, check out, analyze, give you a fucking report on it. But I do it in my own way. If he really the guy, he's just gonna beat Wilder. As we know, he a one-trick pony, should be light work. Why won't Fury commit? I don't know. Mike Hall, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe he doesn't want to give Wilder the satisfaction. You just got to look at it like this. Mayweather beat Manny, right? Mayweather got the biggest fucking check he's ever fought for fighting anybody else at that time. Manny, right, Mike? But he didn't want to fight Manny again, knowing damn well he could have made another 50 million, 80 million maybe, 60, more than 30. I give him 40, 50 million. He could have made in the rematch, plus the pay-per-view, because people still hate Floyd and people still love Manny, so people would still want to see that fight. They could have fought later on that year, right? He didn't have to fight Andre Berto. He just decided to step. You see what I'm saying? Mike, it shouldn't be that deep. You're right, but it is. Ask fucking Floyd. Floyd don't hate Manny like he used to. Gotta ask, you religious? Am I religious? I believe in God and Jesus. I don't know about religion though. Try to stay away from the what do you call it? The denominations. Even the non-denominations are denominations. So I try to stay away from all that. You know what I'm saying? I have somewhat of an open mind. I understand people come from different walks of life and different reasons, different upbringings and stuff like that. In short, Kurt, how do I get a hold of your merch so I can represent from Hull, UK? John Allingson. Just inbox me on Instagram. We'll chop it up there. Tell me what you want. I send it to you. Easy as that. And that's the whole problem. Motherfuckers need to break bread and negotiate with an independent and Al and get the real bag. Well, they're not going to do that, especially they have a false sense of stardom. T straight. Every time I see that, I think of T Street. T straight. Counterpunch to you. That's some straight knowledge. A false sense of stardom. But it's easily, you can do that if you're giving somebody fucking $1 million, $2 million a fight. To fight somebody that don't have a chance in hell of winning. Those guys in the PBC, they got the best job. If I wanted to fight people without like challenging myself, and I ain't give a fuck about really getting beat up or really thinking I was the best or really being a premier athlete to the point where I have grit and determination and shit like that, or drive or goals and all that shit. If I didn't care about none of that and I just want to get paid, I'm going with Al Heyman. Because Al Heyman, I can just show him I'm good enough for that motherfucker to pay me the money to keep me there. Counterpunch. Is that real enough for everybody? That's how he rolls over there. Jose Alday, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. The Al Heyman impression on point. So I see him. Sean McAvery. Do you think we'll actually see Fury versus Wilder? Okay, I went back too far. I just didn't want to miss stuff. Robert Brown, the LDBC are biased 100%. Yeah, I would say so. That's, Daniel Cartridge. Yes, I'm selling merch. Inbox me on Instagram. Tell me what you want. I'll send it to you. Aki is just as egotistic. Is just as egotistic person. Of course he is. PBC ruining Chris Bank Jr.'s career. And that's another thing. You know, you have to think about the money Chris Eubank Jr. is paying Roy to train Roy. But who the fuck has he fought? He's going to be another guy that sits over there and fucking just, you know, gets too old. You know, shit starts breaking down on him. How old is Chris Eubank Jr. now? I know he's not too old or whatnot. He's not too hella old. I understand that, though. Who wants to lose that crown? But you got to be able to smoke grades. Yeah, but they don't want to do that shit. They're getting paid enough. They want to be like fucking rappers and shit. If you notice, like, look at the Charlos. Charlos, you know, tats and shit, gold ass chains, bags full of money and shit like that. Him, AB, and all them dudes tank. They walk around 50, 60, $100,000 in a fucking duffel bag. Shit, $200,000 in a duffel bag. You know what I mean? Like they gonna go buy some fucking drugs or some shit with it. Just get a fucking black card and rock on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's that fucking street-minded bullshit. That's all. And then something happens to the money. They're like, oh, fuck, what happened? Why do you think AB is in the trouble he's in right now? Not because he robbed somebody. No, he roughed somebody up for having a huge amount of cash that one of his buddies hid from him and tried to play a joke on him like some Billy Joe Saunders shit. And then, what's his fucking name? AB went and grabbed this fucking bartender woman up, I think, and she was married to the owner of the place in Vegas. That's all that happened. He was like, bitch, where my fucking money and all this, that, and the other. Right? That kind of stuff. And then that's how he ended up having to pay $800,000. That simple. And it comes to find out nothing happened to this money. One of his homeboys was messing with him, was just joking with him. But again, I'm like, what the fuck do you have that amount of money for anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're an athlete. Yeah, buy some Cristal, some Opus One. You know what I mean? Pop bottles. Cool, but you don't need fucking that type of money to do it. You know? Unless you're trying to buy some, you know, some women. You know? What do you think Loma should do next if he can't get a rematch? I think Loma should, I don't know. Because, see, Bob put him on a pedestal. They did some bullshit. No rematch clauses, which was dumb. Any fighter that's a fighter that's an elite fighter has a rematch clause. Hey, someone has a page in your name trying to scam people. See, there is another one. I just got this message. The Charlo smoking ish. Between Heyman, Jerry Jones, and Dallas D. Riders, Spence thinks he's SRL and Floyd combined. Yeah, I would say so. The look is for the celeb attention to get more notoriety with black fans. Yeah, you know, they like all that shit, you know, spending a bunch of money, showing that they have a bunch of money. Oh, wow. Now take a look at this shit. This guy, which is claiming he's me. Take a look at this, guys. Wait, let me see if it'll populate. Come on. But anyway, it has my name on there, right? And this is what he's saying to scam people. With a filming act, so I am very occupied. So a group of beautiful kids who need my help for some of their personal uploading on the Google, they asked for a favor to get them an amazing Amazon card. I never fucking heard of an Amazon card. They are about 3 in number, Jesse, Dorinda, and Brandy. I will really be glad if you can help me get the cards. They didn't specify how much it will cost, but just help me Get them from any shop nearby your place. Thank you so much, dear. It's no big deal, actually. Wow. Yeah, this dude's tripping. Oh, and I actually called him. He should fight Haney. That would be a good fight. That would be a good fight. And it's just like, but it's funny though. He doesn't have. He has a better opposition than Loma does. It's kind of like when like Wilder, like without the rematch clause, he ain't got shit. You know what I mean? And until Dillian White got beat, Dillian White was ahead of Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder lost. You see what I'm saying? He was a WBC champion, but he lost it. Now the interim champion, well, shit, Dillian White got knocked out. They both lost. So I mean that look, that is definitely a it's definitely a weird thing in the sport. I think Loma will be given bad odds against any young star, and it will be a great bet. It'll be a bad bet because Loma's going to beat the shit out of the next person he gets in the ring with, and those people that think they're the shit, they're going to find out. And see, it's going to be one of those situations where he's definitely going to be a underdog, and people going to look at him like Loma. I mean, they're going to look at him like, you know what? I'm going to whoop his ass. Tio can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show him better than Tio, so here we go. Sign the contract. You're going to sign the contract, get out there and get fucked off. 100%. And then people are going to be looking at Loma like, fuck, Loma's still dangerous. You know what I mean? That's why I want Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Lomachenko. I want that fight to happen first. Before any of those guys, I want those guys to be tested further. Tank Davis fighting Loma, that's his test. Let's get it on. The Bristolian Mackham. All right, Kurt, you good, mate. All right, Loma should fight Stevenson next. That would be good, but that's at 130. Yeah, I think he would win so you can win money easily. That's right. Loma too slick for Garcia. Tank gonna lose. Loma can box. Tank will take Loma head off. Tank can take Loma's head off if he hits Loma. You think he's gonna hit? You think he's gonna hit Loma? They said, "Hey, Mike, let me counterpunch. Let me counterpunch." They said the same shit. They said the same exact shit about whom? About Teofimo. They say when Teofimo lands, he's gonna knock him out. Counterpunch to you. Whacked. Waked up for work. That's what's up, unknown name. Yeah, I mean, he could. He has the punching power, I think. But then again, what did Ryan Garcia tell this motherfucker today that made a whole lot of sense, Mike? Who has he fought that was credible in the 135 lightweight division? I mean, credible. Come on now. Who has he fought? Tank stronger than Tio, okay. But like, he fought at 130 last. He went to 135. Who has he fought at 135 besides a 38-year-old? Tell me, I'll wait. I'll wait. You see what I mean? That like going up to 135, look, weight classes are a difference. He goes up there fucking with somebody like Loma. I hope Mayweather. We're gonna go for the ex-king. We're gonna do the Anthony Joshua route. We're gonna go fight the king after the king has fought the king, and we're gonna knock out the king like AJ did. That's what we're gonna do. That Tank Davis is gonna beat Lomachenko. Then we'll take on Ryan Garcia. After that, we'll take on Teofimo himself. We can do that. We can make that happen. Look, anything's possible in the sport of boxing. Anything's possible. See, I got hair now. I got a beard too. Anything's possible. Watch, everybody gonna see. Everybody gonna see my beard. I'm gonna be looking like Michael J. White. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking like Black Dynamite with my hair. Hey, yo, you know this motherfucker, like, what do you call it? This motherfucker FUE'd his fucking face and head. You know what I mean? Like, think about what I'm saying. You're definitely a younger brother. Well, I'm the youngest. I'll take it. I don't know how young you think I am, but I'll take it. You know? Loma beats Tank on points, I reckon. He'll beat him probably like Calzaghe beat fucking Jeff Lacey. Or how Calzaghe beat an older Roy Jones. There, I've said it. If Loma and Tank, I can already see that fight. If Tank fights Loma and beats Loma, give him full motherfucking credit. Because I don't see him winning. There. I've said it. This is media. You can look this shit up. I don't erase shit. I don't block shit. I don't delete stuff. No, I don't. Okay? So remember this. Remember this. My words. Loma will dismantle Tank. Now, can Tank knock out someone like Garcia? Now, that's a different story. Probably so. Younger guys, less experienced guys, all they think is rapid fire and aggression and offense. Not necessarily defense a lot. You see what I'm saying? Especially Tank. Tank's going to get beat the fuck up, dude, fucking around somebody like Loma. Why? Because he's shorter. Come on, man. Loma has problems with taller fighters. He's going to do him like he did Gary Russell Jr. He's going to punch them all in the fucking gut. You know, he's going to start to dictate the pace. And Tank's going to constantly be trying to throw that fucking left uppercut at that left hand to try to get him out of there, because once he finds out he's not going to be able to box with Loma, he's going to end up getting fucked up more and more and more as round goes through. Look at Leo Santa Cruz and look at the success Leo was making, for Christ's sake. Come on now. Santa Cruz was giving him the business. He was beating that dude. He just didn't respect the punching power. Loma ain't dumb. Loma knows, okay, this guy has punching power. I'm going to take it away from him. I'm going to rip off his fucking left hand and fucking beat him with it. It's pretty much what's going to happen. Mo Murder. 5 for the Floyd impression. Appreciate you, brother. Counterpunch to you. Jay Rodriguez. What's up, brother? Counterpunch in this piece. Jay in this place. T straight. That's a perfect Floyd. How can you read a page from Harry Potter? Dude, he got a mediation from Fury and Wilder. Blue Blood said the Fury fight must. No, unknown name. Let me tell you something. What Blue Blood is saying, he's taking a part of some facts that he read about the video that I'm going to do when I get off this live chat. Then I'll add that to it. I'm glad you mentioned that. No, that's something that he desires to happen. That's something that he wants to go down. He wants the Wilder fight to happen. But is that, like he said, like they're gonna, you gotta fight Fury else? No, the mediations are not over. So how the fuck can he make that type of decision? That ain't even took place yet. Come on. Thinking ain't fucking illegal yet. Unknown name. It ain't illegal yet. That's something Blue Blood wants. That's something that probably Wilder is telling Blue. Oh, yeah, he gonna fight me. The motherfucker gonna fight me. He a fucking cow. He a cheater. The cheater gonna fight me. He got to get in the ring, man. He gonna get in the ring. Okay? Watch. I will fill you in on the real facts on what's going on. But the mediation is still going on. So if the mediation, look, if that what Blue Blood said, I seen the video, I seen part of it enough to know, like, dude, you're tripping. This is like, what do you call it, wishful thinking for Blue Blood, because he's a fan of Wilder. Nothing wrong with that, but don't be making up shit. You know what I'm saying? He's saying what he hopes that will happen or may possibly happen. Right? But that him having to fight Tyson, no. If that's the case, the mediation will be over. So I answered that question for you right there. So no. Ray Khan, salam, hello from London. Counterpunch to you, brother. How's the lockdown? Well, they're going to lose again, too. Hey, a lot of them can lose again. Dillian White lost again last year. Joe Lewis. I think Ryan would walk right in with Tank, Devin, or Shakur. You mean walk right into a punch or walk right into the ring, Jay? Which one? Well, what a blue blood saying is true. I'm gonna break it down to you, okay? Because I'm actually about to get off here in about 5 minutes, but I'm gonna break it down because I got a lot of shit to do before I go in, because I like to get these videos out at the spring of morning, so like late morning in the UK and then early morning here in the US of A. So give people time to watch it or whatnot, you know. So, but no, I'm gonna fill you in on that. Not all of it's bull, but based what he's doing, he's running away with facts. He's twisting and stretching facts. Let me try to give you an example of what he done with that video. That's just like this. That's just like Anthony Joshua. The WBO is forcing Anthony Joshua. No, they're questioning Anthony Joshua to make a decision with the WBO regarding Alexander Usyk. Right? Well, that's like somebody saying, hey, he has to fight Usyk or he's going to have to drop the belt. And then that's exactly what's happening, because Usyk is, Usyk will take that belt. He's going to relinquish that belt because the WBO. That's not what happened. They're just asking him questions about that ordeal. They're asking Tyson Fury. He's going to have to question what his plans are. That's all. That's all that is. Oh, he wants to step right into a punch. Gotcha. Floyd Patterson versus Mike Tyson, both in their prime. Mike will destroy Floyd. Because, see, Mike is like he's like a Rocky Marciano souped up. He's like a hybrid Super Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano is a plodding fighter. He throws and hits everything that he can possibly hit. That's why he trains so hard, because his stamina is there. He's a smaller guy. He's a hard hitter. He's a determined guy. His mentality is probably the strongest. He gets broken nose, busted up eyes, but he's coming and he's looking for certain punches and openings, right? Mike Tyson has a side-to-side demeanor. He's like 10 times as aggressive as Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano is the fighter that's looking for that solid punch that he can land and take your lights out. Mike Tyson is a guy, he's going to come in because he's using your energy. So if you see a guy coming at you like this, you're like, oh shit, because he knows he has to come in. So he comes in weaving. Rocky Marciano comes plodding in. If you look at Rocky Marciano fights, in fact, I'm going to watch some of those after I finish the videos about Rocky Marciano. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you guys the difference between that. But as far as, Floyd Patterson, no. He didn't have the chin for it. Mike was just too strong. He'd probably be able to box him maybe all of a minute. Then until Mike Tyson lands a daring punch and knocks him straight the fuck out. Ryan's footwork against Campbell was why he got knocked down. He has to win the front foot position and stay outside of southpaws. Well, his chin was in the air too. You know what I'm saying? He was straight up in the air. If people notice about Oscar De La Hoya, he's about the same height as Ryan, or he once upon a time was, because people shrink when they get older, believe it or not. And one thing you've seen Oscar De La Hoya do, Oscar never fought straight up. He kind of, if you seen Oscar, he kind of crouches down and he asks like, "What the fuck's wrong with him?" He's crouching down to be lesser of a target because he's taller. So like, he's a lot of times he's fighting these guys and he's throwing those hooks, but you see him, he's kind of crouched over. He does that though for the defense factor. Okay. No, it didn't take Sonny Liston long, Grim Reaper. In fact, Sonny Liston was the Grim Reaper of fucking Floyd Patterson. So yeah, there you go. He was straight up most of the time and drops his hands too. Yeah, he does. Started boxing at 25. That's very impressive, HB. Liston was a beast. He was. If Tank adds more speed to his power, no one can beat him. Just AJ against Fury. If he adds more speed, well, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people sacrifice the power for the speed. So, he won't be able to throw his punches the way he normally does if he's faster. If you try to make someone faster than they're not going to punch the right way. You understand? It's not going to work that way. I want to be faster. All right, if you're going to be faster, you're going to be throwing more punches in your arms, versus the natural way you turn over and sit down on punches using your hips when you turn into your punches, say your left hook. See, so to throw a left hook, a front forward left hook, you want to use you want to use your waist and you turn into it. Well, a lot of times, if that's just a certain movement. Well, if you wanted to get faster with it, you're doing a little more like a check. So you're turning, but you're not turning the full extent. You're not setting down on that punch. So if you want to make someone like Tank faster, you're gonna sacrifice some of the power. So I think you're kind of defeating the purpose trying to make him faster, if that's what you think he needs. You know, Unknown name, counterpunch to you, brother. Liston was like Foreman. It took the GOAT to make them look bad. Listen, they both had the similar style. They both had a bruising, come forward style. I liked, believe it or not, Sonny Liston's footwork because he stepped with you. He was a type of fighter. He looked at your feet because he knows he's the strongest in the ring most of the time. And he also knows that when you move, he's coming towards you. Okay? Especially if you go, you never do that. But a lot of times he walks right with you. So he's taking his steps with your steps. So if you're moving back in a two-step formation, he's coming forward because he has to close the distance, right? So someone like Sonny Liston fighting a guy that moves, that stays on his feet is difficult. That's how you do him. If you stand in front of those guys like George Foreman, Sonny Liston, they're going to beat your fucking brains out. That's bottom line. That's bottom line. And for the record, if you guys didn't know, do you guys know off the top of your head, and this is a question, okay? Who was George Foreman's idol? Who did he train with? Who did he admire? Who did he look up to? Can you guys answer that question? Sugar Ray Robinson, fucking all-time great. Liston, exactly. Same kind of cats. So he adopted a lot of his style, Foreman did, from Liston. No, Comatose, it was Liston. They sparred together. That's where he got most of the way he threw his punches, George Foreman. He developed that hanging around a guy like Sonny Liston. He's seen, look, this is who I want to be inside the ring. Now, there were nothing to like outside the ring. Sonny Liston was, don't get me wrong, George Foreman was no bitch, okay? He was no bitch. I mean, it had to be something that he found in common with Sonny Liston outside the ring, too. if you want to look after a cat. Kurt, do you play Fight Night Round 4 on PlayStation 3? Hell yeah. But it's at my house. It's not here. It's at my house. But that's the best one they made. The absolute best fight they made. I just wish PlayStation, Sony could throw us a bone. If they're not gonna make any more boxing games, right, for EA. If they know they're not gonna do that, they could at least, and they can do this, they could at least put a package together and give you downloadable content, more of it. So you can download more fighters, more boxing venues. You see what I'm saying? You could fight forever, change the storyline a little bit, have an alternate ending when you beat it the first time, fight it in a whole different, with different champions at the end, that type of shit with the downloadable content. I love playing Look, let me tell you guys something. The first Knockout Kings, okay? Knockout Kings was in 1999. No, 1998. Fight Club game being developed. I haven't. I feel like 2K could be the best platform to make great boxing games. But I had Knockout Kings 2000, 2001, 2002, and I think 2002 and 3 were on I think 2 was the last one. And then in 2004 they made Fight Night. Yeah. It's hoping time. Somebody can talk to Showbiz the adult. Well, he's making his own shit, so I don't expect him to do that. But, that would be a good idea. I like Sony, like, dude, people are still watching and playing that fucking game online for a PlayStation. You have a PlayStation 5 out now. So that tells you, like, if Sony cared for their customers, instead of just trying to sell new fucking consoles, they would add more to a game that they know they're not going to create again. Or at least those EA. I think EA would be the people that they would have to contact Sony or whatever to approve that. No, Ray Khan, that's why I'm not buying a fucking PlayStation 5. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying $600 for this fucking thing. Why, to get a better, bigger fucking Blu-ray? No, I'm good. I'm good. Did you see Ryan Garcia say he plans on retiring at age 26? Well, he might. Because let me tell you, Slotello presents. I don't think he has to work anyway. Ray Khan, you got it, man. You got it. Black, two sugars. Sami Ali, I'm out, Kurt. Gotta sleep. See you on it, bro. All right, Sami Ali. Peace, bro. Have a good night. But do you remember the Legend of the Ring on Super Nintendo? I think so. I think so, man. Um, Remember Foreman had his game. Mike Tyson just did it, bro. Mike Tyson was cool as shit. You know. Ray Khan, I play with whoever's online. Imaginary Sonny versus Joe Lewis. That'll be a good fight. Sonny, I think I would edge Sonny though. But then again, Joe Lewis was Joe Lewis. That would be a hell of a fight. Because I just don't, maybe I'm biased because Joe Lewis is one of my favorite fighters. So I don't want to let you guys think that, you know what I mean? Because Sonny Liston's just a big fucking guy. He didn't move like Ali. And someone, look, think about all those fighters at that time frame. And I'm talking about from the early 60s. So from like 1960 to probably like 66. Because like what Sonny Liston, I think he was short lived. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking him up now. Well, he died in 1970. Okay, so the four losses to you, of course, we know two of the losses came to Muhammad Ali, and then the second was very fucking questionable. Okay, Leotis Martin, he lost to him by KO in round 9, and that was in '69. Okay, he lost to Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, and he lost to Marty Marshall, which was a split decision back in '54. Understand something. When Sonny Liston was fighting, he was eyeing guys like Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano got the fuck out of boxing. We know that. Because he knows, like, dude, I'm not trying to do that. Not trying to fight those dudes. You know what I'm saying? I learned from other people. It was a good lesson to learn, though. If you can't stand the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen, and that's exactly what he did. You see, understand something. When Rocky Marciano was fighting guys like Ezra Charles and guys like that, Sonny Liston was on the rise. You understand that? Sonny Liston's last fight was in 1950 fucking five. He got out of the sport. You know what I mean? So those type of things, man. He fought Ezra Charles twice. Jersey Joe Walcott twice. Joe Louis. He beat Joe Louis. He beat him in 51 though. But it was one of those things, man. And that was, of course, Joe Louis's last fight. Well, T straight, he didn't lay down for the mafia. He laid down for the Muslims because the Muslims were calling his house. You know, what I mean, they were threatening Sonny Liston. How old was Sonny Liston? Um, let's see. Damn, I didn't know he was from Arkansas. Sanslaw, Arkansas. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Toby Liston was a mother sucker. He used to beat the shit out of him. Um, let's see. When called in for January 1950, Liston gave his age as 20, while the St. Louis Globe Democrat reported that he was 22, convicted and sentenced to 5 years in the Missouri State Penitentiary. Liston started his prison time on June 1st, 1950. So I guess, wait, no, he had to get out before then because he was already fighting. Suggesting to Liston to try boxing and his obvious aptitude, along with endorsements from Stevens. After 2 rounds, Wilson had taken enough. Okay. Well, he didn't spend the whole time in there because obviously he was boxing in '69. Wait, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, fifth. Go, 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 go. 59, 58, 55, 54, 53. So he might have stayed in there like 2 years. He might have stayed in there 2 years. His life during the fight when the Nation of Islam dudes thought he put something in Ali's eye. Well, yeah, that was that. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. People are not gonna fucking tell you unless they told someone else, and that person before they croaked said the truth and spilt the beans before they died. Because understand, this is like 70 years, 60 years, no, 60 some odd years ago. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was like 65 years ago, 66 years ago. No, 55 years ago, 56 years ago. That was in the 60s. Who you guys think was the best heavyweight of all time for me? You know, it was Ali. Ali just, Ali was a guy, they hated him at that time, but they loved him later. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So really the people that like, oh, I hate Kaepernick and shit like that. Ali was Kaepernick, believe it or not. So if you hear the old school guys that say, "Oh, I hated Cassius," that means they were one of those guys that hated people standing up for themselves and shit. You know? Yeah, Buddy Gunner, boxing does have a fucking dirty side. It does. They say they rub stuff on Liston's gloves. They might have, You think about it, you know what I mean? But if you notice the referee, they always take their gloves and wipe the gloves on their shirt. If you notice that, Ali said there was a man who tried to give him some solution with you can add to a glove which can affect the opponent's eye without detection. Damn, that's crazy. Joyce jabs hurts eye sockets. Yeah, all of them do eventually if they catch you in the right area. See, he caught the triple D on the top of that bitch when it was swole. I think that's what popped one of them vessels. Well, Gunner, do you know how Sonny Liston died? And that was the weirdest shit ever. Yeah, well, heroin. But you understand heroin was real bad back then too. I mean, really bad. Like from the late '60s and through the '70s with all that Nicky Barnes shit, and Frank. Angie said he put his finger in Ali's eye and stuck it in his eye, and it burned the way liniment burned, like Ben Gay in your eye. It might have been, and in that case, that's not really a big deal. But I mean, it will fuck up you can't see. See, now I get another notification. Yeah, this guy. I need to report this guy. But anyway, guys, this has been a great chat. I'm gonna work on some videos for you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. We will chop it up then, because we got to go over the Q&A of Joshua and Canelo. I think that would be the good time and the best time to counterpunch through that. But everyone have a good night. Be safe, and everyone has been Counterpunch. Philip Carl Roberts. Man, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. YouTube's a trip, you know. Barrett versus Valdez fight on ESPN. Nice, nice. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you in the morning. And everybody has been Counterpunch. Peace.